This is Pride Bongani, and welcome to ZaziseWide. In music, being able to achieve a high level of excellency in studio production, in music videos, and also in live performances that one does is definitely not an easy task to achieve. It requires an artist who is dedicated, an artist who is focused, an artist who is purely passionate about their art form. And one artist that I think is quite able to perform exceptionally in those three fields is Vuyo.
I don't know if I can really say one thing that got me into music. I'm not even quite sure how to answer that. What first got me into music? Because I've always done music.
From as long as she can remember, Vuyo has always loved to sing. As a child, she would listen to other musicians, mimic them, and soon she found herself being taught how to play instruments by her now late uncle.
I've always talked about this uncle of mine who was now teaching me instruments and music, and that was when I was 9. Yes, when I was 9, and all the way into, obviously music classes in primary school and all that. I didn't really have parents who noticed that or who exposed me to more of music. So the only thing I would get is the music classes would have in primary school, and I would obviously pay extra attention in those because I was really interested in it. I had the uncle started teaching me instruments, but he passed away before I could move on to other things. So we learned to play the flute. I remember my first time I really sang in front of people, like official people, was at 14 in church, all the way into, and I was born again at 14, so I stayed singing till, all these various things in high school, these clubs and these choirs and that I was singing, and all the way into 2014 when I really went out and started doing it professionally. And that was from a directive from my pastor, and he led me and directed me to do it professionally, that I could do it as a career. I mean, I'd always wanted to, I just would have never thought it possible, thought I could actually do it. So my plan was to sing, obviously always be singing, but I wasn't going to take it out. In 2014, I decided to come out and do it out of the church. And 2016, I released my first single.
If you are familiar with Vuyo's music, you will agree with me that she's not an artist who only identifies with one genre. Her music catalog is so diverse, but one thing that stays constant, one thing that is forever unchanging is her message.
I've always hoped this doesn't come out as pride, because I don't know how else to explain it, but I always call it the Vuyo sound. Most times I come up with something, people want to liken it to something, because when people hear something, it has to be normal to them, it has to make sense to them, so they make it make sense to them. And so every single song, I literally tell you, every single song that I've ever done reminds someone of someone. And I've literally been compared to so many people, from Jeanette Manyoa to Zahara to Sinach, such different types of people and more, by the way. Fungisai, I remember the first song I ever did, I was compared to Fungisai. Chiwoniso. Lately there's Amifaku. I'm always compared to somebody, because the music that I create is, I'm a multi-genre artist, as much as it's contemporary gospel, but that's the parent genre. So I do subgenres, any subgenre I feel like doing, and sometimes I combine them. So my sound can be anything. The music though that I create is the message is what's important, because I just package it into all these different things that would make sense to people, or that I feel like that I'm hearing, because I get melodies every day, any day, all the time in my head. My creative process is prayer, melody, writing. Usually get melodies. I can get a melody, then start to work on it. I can get an idea with a melody, then start to work on it. And then I write, and I take time to write. Sometimes I can write for be in the zone for like that day and then finish the song, or start on it and then come back to it like later, days later, a month later. Usually don't take that long though. A month is a bit too far. A month would be if I'm taking time in the studio and I keep coming up with other ideas or new ideas, or I've just put it aside. Yeah. Sometimes I can come up with that, start writing, and then have a hook, and then have to get an instrument first. Get the whole sound and what I really like to like really carry that song or carry that melody. Then if I get what I like and I'm feeling it, then I continue, because then sometimes that can help my process, because now it's coming into something.
I believe what sets Vuyo Brown apart from most artists in the local Christian contemporary music industry is that she does studio work, does live shows, and does music video, which is something that's not common when you look at the approach in which most local artists take. Most local artists would rather do a live show and do a live recording of the album. Vuyo takes it a notch higher and does music videos, which allow her to tell a story, explore the story behind the song, which allow her to fully express what the song means and what the audience is to get from the song. It's one thing to explain to the audience what the song really means, but it's another when you paint it through the canvas of a music video. And also, her studio work allows her to use instruments and tones and sounds that may not be ideal for a live setup. And this enhances her reach as an artist. It allows her to reach people who don't like attending live shows. It allows her to reach people who don't like listening to songs that are recorded on a live show.
I think the one thing that I would love people who follow me, people who subscribe to my music, people who support the music, support me, to know or to remember is, the point of my music is to get somebody to experience and to know and to see God the way I have. That's the point. I see him as a healer, so that's why I do music that I believe heals. Or I'll sing a song like Tulawazi, where I literally will get into prayer and be like, Lord, and be the intercessor, and cry out to him for somebody. And then what he says to me and to that person and to people is what I then put into the song, and then, work on that. So that's the point of my music. That's just an example of Tulawazi, but that's the point of my music. So I want you to see him the way I see him. So I think my message, the top message that I always have, is build your relationship with God. Have a relationship with God, your own. What are some of the things I would change or would like to change about the industry if I could? I wish the struggle for some of our artists wasn't as spelled out as it is. When you're coming up within anything, whatever form of business, anything that you're creating, that you're starting up for the first time, whether it's an organization, whether it's a business, school, anything you're starting up from scratch or you're doing for the first time, you're bound to struggle, you're bound to have, the ups and downs. There are things that just come with that. I wish that the terrain here just wasn't as difficult as it is, because I feel the fight is just extra. It's extra to get out there, and there's such a big gap between parts of the nation, certain parts of the nation compared to others, and I wish that didn't exist. And the reason why I'm saying it vaguely is because there's already a debate that goes on about that, discussion that goes on, fights that go on about that I just don't really want to be. I'm already a part of, but then I just don't want to start here, because I'll just, I don't want that to be taken away from what I'm trying to say, because I'm saying that that's there already. It shouldn't be there. Marginalization is there. It's not just here. Many countries have that. Racism is there. It's not just here. I had an experience, I remember, in December of that. And I wish some of these things just didn't exist in the industry, because it just makes the job so much harder don't ever look down on yourself. Every once in a while, my pastor will have this message for me, and sometimes I definitely need this reminder. You are a great person. Don't ever look down on yourself. Don't ever forget that. I think that's the best advice was this year. I think that was in January when I last heard that. Don't ever look down on yourself. If I were to open for somebody, I would... So many artists. I think it's the same artists that I would love to collaborate with. I cut across genres. So it's different artists that I tend to like and tend to listen to. And, I would love to open for Travis Green. I love his music. Lately, I like what Kanye is doing. So that would be cool because I like what he's doing. I relate to what he's doing lately, besides the gospel aspect of it. No, but the musicality of it. Like Lauren Daigle, I would love to collaborate with her as well. People like Mali Music, I feel the way he understands music, I would love to get into his head. There are people like locally, I like Takura. I love hip hop, so I like the way Takura does his music. I'd love to work with Tammy one day. I really like her heart and her music. I think she's amazing. It would be nice. Tammy and Gemma. Janet Manyoa is somebody I look up to. I feel her music is really, really popping right now, and she's, the way she has defined herself. I would love to work with her as well. I would love to work with Ada. But I really like her music. I like her visuals. I feel I relate to her. I feel we're the same. Her and Lauren Daigle, actually. I feel they resemble my music. Or I resemble theirs. Whichever.
Well, fam, thank you for joining me on this week's episode of ZaziseWide. If you have not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and like the video. And also, share the video to your friends and family. I'm going to leave links in the description box to Vuyo's music and also where you can follow her on social media. Pride Bongani signing out for Zazise. Issue.